Disclaimer. Simping is referred to as giving unnecessary validation to someone because you lack self-worth and is frowned upon in all circles. It should be punishable by 2 years in prison, but nowadays we just stick to bullying. So long story short, you shouldn't simp.
But there are exceptions.
All right, welcome back to Power Lunch, everybody. The Federal Trade Commission issued a ban on so-called worker non-compete clauses set to go into effect in the early fall.
Please welcome to the program Federal Trade Commission Chair Lina Khan.
I should have known this, but I didn't until 2 years ago. 30 million workers have to sign non-compete agreements for the jobs they take. 30 million.
Federal Trade Commission voted to ban non-compete clauses, which will impact millions of workers across the U.S. But legal challenges are expected to come.
But let me begin by asking Chair Khan, so how does one become the chair of the FTC? Who do you have to know to do that?
Well, first of all, let me just say it's so great to be here with you. You've just been such a fearless champion for working families in America, and especially at a time where too many people feel that they can't get a fair shake. Showing people that the government is fighting for them is just absolutely critical.
FTC, the Federal Trading Commission. What the hell is it? Back in September 1914, Woodrow Wilson, arguably the worst president in US history, but we'll get back to that later, signed the Federal Commission Act into law, which resulted in FTC opening its doors a year later to serve two missions. Number one was to protect consumers and employees, and number two was to promote competition. And you all know why competition is very important to keep an healthy economy booming, because it prevents monopolization. Why is that a good thing? Imagine a relatively small city with a decent population. I don't know, like Cotton Shoot, Texas, which is a real city, by the way, because, you know, America. Now all the 2,000 red-blooded Texan population of our city, well, they all need to eat. And what if there is only one source of grocery in the whole city? I don't know, like Walmart. So because Walmart is the only provider of groceries in our small town, whatever price they dictate to groceries is gonna be the standard market value, which is a terrible thing. Because imagine if the Walmart CEO one day wakes up and wants 1,000% profit margin. Nobody would be able to stop them. The prices will go up, and our Texan population wouldn't be able to afford their 5 brisket and 2 bottles of corn syrup dinner. So in order to prevent monopolization, we made our markets competitive. If Walmart has to compete with Target and Costco and Kroger, then they have to keep their prices reasonable and maintain their quality. And our solution over the years seems to be working pretty good. After all, this is how we beat communism. By being a bunch of capitalist pigs, but capitalist pigs with competitive market strategies. So, it's been working. But it's not without its problems, because companies hate competition and companies make a lot of money. Back to Walmart, for example. Walmart is absolutely ginormous. It's one of the big 7 companies right now holding the US economy. Target, Costco, Kroger, these are not small companies. All of them are valued above $100 billion. But all 3 of them gathered together are not as big as Walmart. So what happens if one day Walmart decides to do a full Michael Corleone and push everybody out? Buy the whole market share. They would be able to scheme on quality because they are the only provider. They get to increase the prices unreasonably because they are the only provider. And our Texan family wouldn't be able to again afford their 33 cheeseburgers a day. So if only there was a hero in this terrible conundrum. A person who has the governmental agency to help us here. A person whose job is to stop companies from bullying and pushing each other out and making the market unhealthy. somebody who has the power. Yeah, that's right, baby. You know where this is going. Now, do you know who else would figure out this shouldn't be happening? The person whose job is to stop this in the first place. The head of the FTC. Now you might be asking yourself, if this governmental body is so important, then why haven't I heard about it my whole life? It's because they haven't done anything until now. Like, I'm serious, I've done the research. They haven't done shit. Until she comes in. June 15, 2021, Lina Khan becomes the head of the FTC with a chip on her shoulder.
Decades of mergers have weakened the competition, she said. Americans have historically lost out with diminished opportunities, higher prices, lower mergers, and lagging innovation.
So here's our hero, heading to fight against a conglomerate. She steps in to stop Microsoft merger of Activision Blizzard for $69 billion, which failed. But then she goes after Zuck, trying to stop the Meta Within merger, which also failed.
There's a lot here to be excited about. I think this could be very positive for our society and economy.
Then she goes after Illumina Grail merger, which again kind of failed. But then Kroger tried to buy Albertsons and she tried to stop it, which again failed.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
In fact, she hasn't been able to stop a single merger. So, yeah, that doesn't really look good right now. But it doesn't mean she hasn't scored yet at all. Because, you know, why would I make a video about her then? She scored a big fucking score. Back in the day, government and the conglomerates came up with a law called the NonCompete, which was pretty straightforward for its time. It prevented employees of certain brands to immediately switch teams and join their rivals. Imagine if a Coke employee suddenly joined Pepsi and gave them the secret formula. Well, this had to be prevented. That's exactly why we came up with the non-compete agreement in the first place. But of course, leave it to the businessmen to take advantage of a seemingly innocent law and turn it into an abusive tool to take advantage of the common people. Right now as we speak, 30 million people are locked into non-compete agreements. That's 1 in every 5 employees. Not all 30 million employees have the secret Coke recipe. These are just simple folks trying to earn a living out there. Now being held at gunpoint by billionaire clubs not to leave their jobs nor complain because they might not find a decent employment in a year or so. Let me give you an example. Financial Post wrote an article about Laura, a nurse with 22 years of experience in the city of Wisconsin. Laura wanted a change. She left her hospital looking for another employer, as hard as finding a new job in this market is. She took a leap of faith and got out. But what she didn't expect was her non-compete agreement, stating the fact that she can't work in any hospital within the 30-mile range of her previous employment. So nowadays, Laura has to drive 30 miles to her new job because her non-compete doesn't allow her to find any jobs within her own district. What is the goddamn logic in that? Not convinced enough? Let's talk about fucking Jimmy John's of all places. Apparently, if you are a sandwich artist looking for employment at the distinguished frozen sandwich section of Jimmy John's, you have to sign a non-compete form not allowing you to seek employment in any other rival establishment for a full year from a certain distance of any branch. How bad can it be, you might ask? Well, this is the red zone for the city of Chicago. Are you fucking shitting me? In fact, FTC had the same reaction last year. They simply asked, what the absolute fuck is this law? And you know, what she did, she got rid of it. A move that many politicians called it anti-business. Do you know how you can find out a person in government is actually working for you? You'll know it when both Democrats and Republicans hate her guts. That's when you know. Since the non-compete ban was put in place, many Democrats have been pressuring Uncle Joe to get rid of her. Because they wanna, I don't know, manipulate the market in peace. This was supposed to be United States, god damn it. This factor alone in my mind makes Lina Khan simp worthy. I can't guarantee her to be an honest politician forever, but right now it seems she's on the path of righteousness. And I suppose that's the best we can get in today's political climate. Thanks for tuning in, and also remember this was just a take.